Welcome to Korvet Aluminum Trawlers. I'm Rob Poirier. We're currently on Tampa Bay. We're cruising at about 9.4 knots on this boat. Engines are running at 1,830 RPM. Today we're going to give you a nice tour of the interior of this vessel and especially talk about the engine room, which is so important. The Korvet 50 has two living environments. The daytime environment is obvious. It's up here in the upper saloon with lots of windowscape, great aft visibility, and of course there's a lower living area that we'll show you later on. But what I really want to point out is that we're cruising at 9.4 knots. Engines are running at 1,830 RPM, and we're able to talk at normal conversation levels. So a real benefit to this hull and boat design. And we talked earlier in the engine room about just how all the insulation was done. And this is where you start to see the benefits of that. When you've got a purpose-built boat with the idea of more ambitious long-term passage making and liveaboard projects, redundancy isn't just two autopilots. If you look, for example, at this helm station, right away you see that you've got literally twin helms. Everything is duplicated, from steering to engine controls, to matching Icon VHF radios, displays above and on the screen in front of us. Everything is set up such that one person could step up and walk away and the other person continues to have full control of the boat. And that's just one aspect of the redundancy. Of course, you know the boat is twin engine. We don't have a kicker get-home engine. We have two 230 horsepower shaft drive engines. So we're going to equip the boat with twin anchors. So throughout the boat, we're going to always consider that redundancy is an important, crucial element to a real, serious, ambitious, long-distance boat. This upper salon in the Korvet is a great place to talk about layout, but just as important to talk about the construction of a boat like this one. An all-aluminum vessel has all its metalwork completed before any of this woodwork or any of the systems are installed. And you can see that in the way the boat is built. Most boats are built in such a way that the furniture, for example, is built remotely and then brought into the vessel. You can't do that with a boat like this because everything basically has to fit through that door in the back on the stern. So what happens is the level of carpentry is greatly improved. If you look at the layout of this boat, not only is the visibility and the windowscape fantastic, but everything follows the form of the boat. So if you look at the trim work around the windows is perfect. The blinds sit in there perfect. If you look at the ceiling panels, you look at the shape, these aren't arbitrarily shaped, done for cosmetic reasons. Everything follows the form of the boat. So it just creates a much nicer finish. And of course, it requires a better skill, a better level of carpentry skill. So when you look at this particular boat, you'll see what's really different in the layout is that we have this upper salon, which of course is during the daytime the preferred place to be because you've got direct line of sight out. The other thing I like to point out is from the helm, your aft visibility is really, really terrific. But you'll see that it also descends down to the galley and to a second living area. So on a boat of this size, it's rare to have that much living capacity. Another aspect of the construction of this boat, certain decisions were made. First of all, to go to the best possible windows. These are all double glazed windows, so of course they're going to work really well when it's cold, but they also serve very well when you're in the tropics. In this particular case, we have a rear opening window. We can have side opening windows as well. The owners of this boat have already cruised it extensively right into the Caribbean, and they've said by opening the hatch over the helm station and opening this particular window, the airflow is fantastic. Because it really differentiates this boat from other vessels being built these days. I'm going to point out again, the curvature in the ceiling here is not arbitrary, it's not cosmetic. Again, it's following the form of the vessel itself. Right here by the cockpit door, we also have the control panel. The owners have asked to have a diesel furnace installed, which is nice because they plan to do some northern latitudes cruising. And here we have, in addition to the breaker panels in the technical room, we've got 24 and 12 volt breakers here. The control panel is also a very convenient place to show you just how nicely insulated this boat is. We spoke about the sound insulation in the engine room, but the entire boat has a closed cell foam insulation like this for climate control, and it also acts for noise control. Every galley on a Korvet is a little bit different because these are semi-custom boats, but they'll always be located in this area, which is just at the base of the steps ascending from the main upper salon area. In this particular galley, we have 4 large refrigerators and 3 ovens, which is pretty adequate. And we have a induction stovetop with full ventilation as well. I also like to talk about the windows in the lower hulls. They are not double glazed like what you see up in the salon, but they're literally bulletproof. They're 2 centimeter thick glass. I think one of my favorite features of this boat, as far as the living area is concerned, is the fact that you have 2 distinct living environments on the boat. I mean, daytime is obviously going to be preferable upstairs where you've got full view. But down here, especially in the evenings, you know, as the day is setting, to have a little bit of a private, intimate space like this could be really fantastic. There's a lot of lounge area here, and it's a perfect place to locate a TV, and of course, a natural place to read a good book. Another thing really worth mentioning is when you come down those stairs, you're not coming into a cavernous area. In fact, the windshield is directly above, giving me tremendous headspace and a lot of extra light here. The Korvet is a Dutch-built boat, and there's a number of things that are products right from the Netherlands. One of the things that I really like is the flooring on this boat. It looks as if it's woven when in fact it's a solid piece. So it's got a really nice finish, it's soft, it makes walking around the boat in bare feet or sock feet really, really pleasant. I also like the way these hatches were built with a flange on them. This is also an opportunity to remind you that this is a solid 100% aluminum built trawler, and you can see that when we look into these storage spaces. It's solid 7 millimeter thickness on the bottom of the boat. So again, the construction methodology is really quite impressive. The master suite on the Korvet, the features that really matter most: walk around berth, lots of storage, and 5 overhead hatches for fantastic ventilation. In the Korvet, the head is all the way forward, and it's nice and large, and the shower has a full FRP enclosure. Thank you for spending time with us here today. We really enjoyed showing you this Dutch-built Korvet. Again, everything you saw in terms of interior finish today is an equal reflection of the 100% aluminum construction of this vessel. We look forward to speaking to you again soon.